what's up YouTube? It's your boy ROBANDZZ. We back here. We're doing a different type of video today. We're gonna be doing a story time. This is a while ago. This is back in like 2020 around COVID. This was my freshman year. But yeah, we're gonna get into that story time. But sorry for the lack of content that I've been posting. I'm currently in Honduras right now. You know the vibe. We repping it. We here spending time with the family. This is the first time I'm in the homeland. Yo, chat, we know no Spanish. No Spanish whatsoever. People be talking to me, I be like, no habla español, maricón. And they be looking at me like, And one thing, before we get into the story time, I just want to say thank y'all for all the support, all the love that I've been getting, all the comments, all the likes. We had 65 subscribers. We almost at 70. We're going to keep grinding, chat. We're going to keep grinding. I promise you when I get back, content coming soon, more IR content, more soccer games. Like I'm gonna get more active and shit. We're gonna be in the gym, like getting that pump. You know what I'm saying? We start our new job September 1st. But yeah, bro, I'm having a blast over here in Honduras. This is my second day, chat. But bro, shit is crazy. Like I'm so blessed to be alive. Like there's so much shit that's happened in my life, and I'm just blessed to be here. I'm blessed that the Lord keeps me, my family safe, and all my loved ones. Like it's a blessing, and I hope y'all praying and find the peace that y'all need in this life, because life isn't easy, but you could definitely make it a little bit easier than what people do. Sometimes people make it a little too hard. But chat, speaking of Honduras, this is some Honduran ass shit. I just found a whole machete, bro. I didn't even know this shit was here, bro. Chat, I just basically spawned that shit in, but alright. Let me bring y'all back. Let me tell y'all the story, bro. So alright, so when I was freshman year, the vape rolled into the water, Mo. No way. But chat, when I was a freshman, right, I got a job. We're not gonna say the name of the location or what company I worked for, because I don't know if I could be legally prosecuted if I ever go viral or this video goes viral. But I worked at a supermarket. It was a mainstream supermarket when I was a freshman year, right? And I worked there all the way up until my junior year, right? So pre-game, no. I stopped working there my junior year. So I worked there freshman, sophomore year. So like I was working there during COVID, right? So 2020 to like 2021. So I worked there for like a year, some change. So if you guys know, in New York, at least, there's a big thing with like bottle deposits. Like people collect cans, collect plastic like this, right? And in New York, they have these machines that when you go to them, you put these machines in, and like each bottle is like 5 cents, right? So the most, so say you put in all your cans, the most you can have on one ticket is $15 worth. And that's also the max amount one person can get for one day. So say I had $30 of bottles, right? And I have 2 tickets that are both 15 each, because that's the max that can be on one ticket, right? So I have 2 $15 tickets. The person that would be depositing the ticket has to bring the ticket to the cashiers, which was me. I was a cashier, right? And I was just a good person, right? So if somebody came with $30, you're not allowed to give them more than 15, but I would do it, right? Because people need money, right? If you're fucking doing bottle deposits, you obviously need the bread. So I would be nice, I wouldn't get in trouble for that, because nobody would know, right? So I was just doing that shit out of the kindness of my heart, right? Then one day I was like, nah, I want some more money, because I was getting paid like $300 weekly, right? And I was young, I had just got a girlfriend at the time. High school, I wanted to go out. I wanted to go out with my girl, get like fresh clothes, all the fly sneakers. You know what I'm saying? Get that drip, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, chat? But yeah, that's pretty much how it went, right? And I had this bright idea one day And I was like, I can collect these bottle deposit slips and at the end of the day cash them in. But here's the problem with that, and here where it gets crazy. So you see where that light is, right? That light that's above me. So I would be here. This is my cash register. Got the screen, the cash register, etc. The food belt where the food comes down so I can scan it, right? That would be a camera directly over me. And there's a camera over every station, every like cashier station, just like that. And then there's multiple cameras all on top of that, all around the supermarket. So it's like heavily supervised. So I don't know how I got away with this, chat. And I put this on my sister's lives. I put this on God. I put this on my life. Like, if I'm lying, I'm flying right now, bro. Real shit. But I had this smart idea. So like, let's collect bottle deposits, right? So say I got 10 slips in one day, right? I would keep 5 of them. It'll probably be like, and I would keep the most expensive one. So like the lowest that could be on a ticket is 5 cents, and the most that could be on one ticket is $15, right? So like, say I get $10, I got like two or three 15s, and then like the rest of them are like 50 cents, $1. I would put all those in, like, we had this cubby that you would put all the bottle deposit slips in there. So at the end of the day, right, people would cash them in, right? And this is where I was smart with it, because when somebody would give me the slip, I would scan it, right? I'd give them their money, right? I'll put like the cheap ones in the slot and I'll keep the expensive ones. But technically nobody knows that I'm keeping these besides me. And at the end of the day, I would have like $50 worth of tickets. So when it was be my time to leave, I would scan all them bitches. Cause usually I work the night shift, so it's quieter, less people, you know, less staff on duty. So it was like more like easier to get away with low key. But I was crazy. I cannot believe I got away with this shit. This is really God. This is why God protected me. But we're gonna get into the story, right? So I start collecting the bottle deposits, right? And I start turning it. I'm starting to bring like extra $50 home. That's how it starts off, right? I'm bringing like $50 extra, and at the time I started smoking, so I was like buying apes, whatever I needed, right? Extra little cash on me to do whatever I wanted, go on a little date, right? And there was another thing that I was doing that I wasn't supposed to be doing. So when you work at this company, they give you a yearly allowance, right? So you get an employee discount. So the employee discount was like $800 and something. It was like, I know it was in the 800s, right? So I never used it, right? My parents didn't even shop at this supermarket. They shopped at Costco, right? So I was, and like BJ's. So I didn't really use it for much, but people would come. I see like people that had huge orders, like $200 or $300 worth of food, right? Or people that had a lot of kids. I would put my employee discount in for them just out of the kindness of my heart. I didn't know I wasn't allowed to do this, right? But this is gonna take up into later in the story. So I would just do that out of kindness of my heart, right? It'll take off like $10, $15 from the order, right? Nothing, but it's something at the same time. I was just doing it just because I just wanted to be a good person, right? I didn't realize I could get in trouble for this. So I'm doing that, right? Boom, boom. That's adding up. At the same time, I'm doing the bottle deposit scam, right? And chat, when I tell you, majority of my shoes, if you know my collection, I have so many shoes. I have like over 50 plus shoes, like Jordans, expensive Nikes, and like Yeezys, right? I don't have no cheap bullshit shoes. My cheapest shoe is probably like my Sambas. Those are probably like my cheapest shoes. And those are like still tough, you know what I'm saying? Like, and back then I wasn't wearing like New Balances. I wasn't wearing A6s or Sambas. I was just wearing straight Jordans, Yeezys, right? So buying all this stuff, and it came to a point where I realized, like, I was doing like collecting the slips and scanning them at the end of the day for like a good, probably like 2 months, right? I was doing that calm shit, right? Bringing home like $50, max like $100 on when I was feeling like extra wild on certain days, right? So it became like $100 a day from 50, then it became like 200, right? I was collecting more slips, and then scanning them at the end of my shifts and then putting them in. So it was like low key. It wasn't like my cashier register was ever short because I was scanning the slips and everything was in the transaction history. So that's where I was big brain. I didn't know that at the time, but now when I look back at it, I'm like, damn, I was really smart for that shit, right? So I was doing that. Then I found out that you don't even need the bottle deposit physical slip. You could do it. You could type it in and do all that shit manually on the computer at my register. So I was like, oh, but still, even if you're doing it manually, you can still only pull out 15 at a time. So what I started doing was, right, say I started taking out way more money, chat. In total, all right, so this is how I saved. I had in an envelope like 5 or 6K saved in cash, like in an envelope, because I had on the envelope I had for a car, right? That was my goal at the time, to buy a car. So I had 5K saved in a fucking envelope, chat, just in an envelope. On top of that, I probably spent like another like 6 or 7K on just clothes and sneakers alone. Like I was buying clothes. On top of that, like not just clothes, sneakers, but I was buying my sisters snacks, anything they wanted. Anytime they asked me for anything, I got them, right? And then I had a girlfriend, so I was buying her whatever she wanted. I was going out with my friends, buying za, right? Just living life, bro. I was balling in freshman, sophomore year. I was balling. Let me tell you, I had bread in my pocket every day. I was going outside, $200 cash every day. I was never broke when I was doing this. So what I would do is, when I found out that I could do it on the computer, instead of me collecting the physical slips, what I would do is I just put all the slips that I started collecting after I found out I could do it, I would just throw them all in, because there's no need to keep them in my pocket no more, collect them. I could just throw them all. So then what I started doing was I would just put in a bunch of $15. Yeah, I'm okay. I would just put a bunch of $15 slips in the machine, right? Like not actual physical slips, but like in the cash register, I would type it in $15 on the bottle deposit section, right? And I'll just deposit it, and I'll have it add up to like 300 that one day. The most I've ever taken out in one day was $600, chat. And in the least, at this point, I was taking out at least like $300. I was taking out $300 every day. Every day I worked, I was doing it. Every single day I was doing it, right? So I'm doing that, right? Now I'm taking more money home, taking like $300 a day. Some days $600. If I wanted a nice pair of shoes that day, I'm taking $600. So that's happening, and I'm collecting breesh. I'm buying whatever I want, like I said. One day, chat, it was a night shift and I was closing. My manager left. He wasn't supposed to leave. I don't know where the fuck he went. He just dipped on the store. And I don't know what happened. So one day, these two guys in suits, like serious, like some agents type shit, come into the job. They're like, hey, are you Rolando Rodriguez? I'm like, yes, sir. Nice to meet you. I introduced myself, being nice and polite. I had no clue who they were, right? They're like, is your manager here? And I had a black manager, a black dude. I was like, no, yeah, he should be in his office. I didn't know he left, right? And it was me and one other cash register dude or girl. No, I was only cash register, and then we had like somebody at the self-checkout that's like watching over that. And so they're like, all right, close up your thing. They put we had like 10 minutes left before closing. So they were like, all right, close up your register now, clean up, meet us in your manager's office. And that's like, our manager's office is like where the break room is as well. It's like upstairs in the store. So I'm like, okay. I was like low-key panicking. I'm like, did I just get caught? Like, I'm going to jail. Like, chat, that was like, I could have went to jail for this shit. Like, this shit is crazy. I was stealing money from the company. So I go upstairs. My manager's not in the room, right? So, and now I walk in. They're both sitting down waiting for me. I sit down. I introduce myself again, right? We're talking. They're like, Rolando, do you know what you did? You're actually in a lot of trouble. And I'm like, what do you mean? My heart is pounding, right? In my head, I'm like, fuck, they called me. I'm going to jail. This is how I'm going out. I'm like 17 at the time, chat. 17 years old, bro. and this is this time period over a month, so I know like the everything is like the dates are not adding up, but I'm just trying to give you a short picture, you know what I'm saying? So this is all over a time span of a year. So this is like towards the end of me working now. So I already have like 5K in the envelope. I've spent like 7K on other shit, right? So that I stole like 11 to 12K. Real. If I'm lying, I'm dying, chat. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I swear on everything I love, I did this shit. But so they're like, yeah, you're in real trouble. You cost the company money. Right there, my ball sack went into my chest, bro. And I'm like, what do you mean? So I played it off because I knew what they were talking about. Oh, well, I thought. So they were like, yeah, you cost the company $750. I will never forget that number. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, 750. I took way more than that. So I'm like $750 or what? And they were like, have you been getting bribes? And I'm like, bribes for what? I have no clue what you're talking about, sir. And they're like, we've watched the video cameras. My heart drops again. We've watched the video cameras and we see that you've been giving your employee discount out to customers. The sigh of relief that hit my soul was unexplainable, chat. Like, I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I didn't even know I wasn't allowed to do that. I was just doing that out of the kindness of my heart, just to help people out. And they were like they're taking notes and stuff and listening to me. They were like, yeah, you weren't allowed to do that. And I'm like, wow, I actually didn't know that. I'm so sorry. I was like, I can pay it back. And they were talking about jail. I'm like, I'm 17. I got no lawyer. Manager's not here. What are you talking about? I could go to jail. They go, I'm speaking to two dudes and I'm 17 years old. I wasn't even officially adult yet. So like, I think that was another thing that was like, I don't think they were allowed to do that either. But so I'm telling them, and in my head I'm like, okay, so they don't know. And I'm like, I can pay it back. The store that the company that I worked on for was a union. So they appointed me a union lawyer. Right, my mom got involved. My mom was speaking to the lawyer. And nothing ended up happening. Like, the case just disappeared. Like, going into my senior year or like into my junior year, they like fired me from the job, right, because of that. And like, I explained to all my coworkers what happened. They're like, damn, it's unfortunate, but yeah, you weren't supposed to do that. I was like, I really didn't know. I was just being a good person. And I think that's what God helped me out in that case, because I was doing a bad deed, but I was also doing a good deed, I guess. Right? Good and bad. So it kind of evened out, I think, for me. And I was young, I was being stupid. And they fired me. So this is when I started my lifeguard job, not too long after. But chat, I got away with that shit, bro. I got away with that shit. And then when I finally graduated boot camp is when I first asked my mom, and I first told my mom about it, because I brought it up. I was like, hey, I need to tell you something. It's been long enough now. Like, I was scared to tell her at the time, because I didn't want her to be like, oh my God. But I was like, hey, whatever happened with the case? Because I never paid anything and you never really talked about it. I was thinking the whole time after that happened, like the 3 years that passed, I was thinking like maybe my mom paid it off, did it on the download, didn't really involve me in it. And I asked her, I was like, hey mom, like what happened with this? She was like, they just stopped calling us. Like the lawyer said they dropped the case and all this. I was like, hey, did you ever pay? She was like, she didn't pay a dime. And then I finally told my mom like the story that I'm telling you guys right now. She was like, oh my fucking God, you're so crazy, this and that. And I was like, yeah, that's life. That's life. But yeah, chat, that was a crazy story time. I got many more stories, so we're gonna start doing more story times, YouTube videos, especially while I'm out here in Honduras. I'm not gonna be able to upload no gameplay, so I'm gonna try to upload like at least 3 videos. I should have brought my GoPro out here, but I didn't. I forgot, like a dumbass. But it's all right, bro. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that story time. I at one point in my life, I was a professional scammer at a top-tier supermarket. Leave in the comment section below what supermarket y'all think it was. I'm not gonna tell y'all because I don't know I don't know the repercussions of me telling this story online, but yeah, I did that shit. And don't steal, it's not good. I'm not proud of that. You know, I made mistakes, but we live and we learn. We're human. And yeah, I love you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. We out here in Honduras, the third world country of the third world. You know what I'm saying? We about to join the gang or some shit. I don't know. But safety, chat. Peace out. Love y'all boys. Love y'all females. Thank y'all.